Welcome to episode 38 of the Wilderness Podcast, the show for casuals. I am your host, Dilz, and across the internet, we got Deegan over there.
Hey, what's up?
How was your week? Do anything exciting?
Non-gaming or non-RS related, and I guess real life stuff. Nothing too interesting. I guess we played D&D and stuff a bit, but
Yeah, D&D was fun.
Yeah, it was good. Probably our best session yet.
Yeah, you guys spent like a couple hours taking out one boss there.
Oh yeah, that was
good times.
Good shred. Yeah, I think that's it. And then for RS related, I did some Slayer. Made my buddy chucked my 8 mil that I had, and won in a duel. So now doubled my money.
Ooh, not bad.
Yeah.
Did you just stop there, or did you do it again?
I wanted to keep going, but he's like, "No, trust me, no, I'm stopping."
Walk away.
You.
That's a good friend.
Because I probably should start off with this, but I think every week I've talked about this. Me and my buddy are pretty excited to start doing raids, so we've been grinding it out a lot. Mm-hmm. We need 70 mil last time I checked for a Dragon Warhammer, and then 20 mil I need for the Herb Lore and shit like that. I only lose 3 mil off it, but I need a lot of money to be able to sink in and get all my shit that I need. And same with him. He's got a lot more skilling to do. I have a lot more of combat and money making to do.
Yeah, okay.
So we're working that, and then we have 2 other buddies that one played I think it was the guy I was playing free to play with, where I made that character. He quit for a little bit just due to school, and he came back, started playing, and I guess that got my other friend to start playing again. He's level 70
what level is he
though?
Is he close to you guys?
No, he's level 70 or something. But
so he's got far to go for raid ready.
Yeah, he was in the lab. He was in that NMZ. He was at the rock crabs. He was grinding it out. I think he's going for base 70s, and he's gonna get RFD done and a fire cape done, and he's just gonna grind all that out. Cause we're not gonna make them get Dragon Warhammers and get all their stats up. Me and him just want to raid with other people as well.
Mm-hmm.
Just maybe they'll get more into the game once they start doing all the that harder content and stuff. We've pretty much given them the RuneScape itch, they're on all the time. They're playing quite a bit. They're getting really good gains. My one buddy did a 1 to 63 agility grind straight. And before that he did he did 30, no, he did 1 to 70, 11 to 70 mining. He did the Dorks quest and then mine to set. He hits the grinds ASAP.
Man, it sounds like he's made for this game.
Yeah, he's level 50, and he knocks out 70 mining first. I lent him my D pick just cause he's showing a lot of commitment. And then he's all right, well, what's next? I'm you can do agility cause you need 50, but getting full graceful is good if you want to get your quest cape. And he's I want the quest cape. And then he gets 63 agility for the full graceful, and I don't know. They both just kind of hit the ground running. It's kind of sweet to watch, log on, and they're they've been on for a couple hours, log off and get back on, and they're still on.
And if you're starting with mining and agility, wait till they
said
start doing Slayer and shit. They're gonna be what? This is amazing.
So, I said, dude, honestly, if you're getting burnt out from those skills, stop, because you're actually doing, the worst skills right now. He's no, man, this isn't bad. Agility's kind of annoying because I can't watch, TV shows and stuff. I'm yeah, what, But, he did it, and he just immediately moved on to Slayer. He got the 2 shittiest skills, done. He doesn't have to worry about them anymore.
Yeah.
They're out of the way. So that's
huge.
Pretty good for him. And then my other friend, he played a lot of, RS back in the day. It's kind of, more of a nostalgia thing, but he's on it a lot, too. But, I was gonna say, so my friend, was doing Slayer, and he, doesn't, this is how new he is to the game, which is awesome, because everyone's had moments like these. So he was doing Slayer. He had to kill wolves or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he killed wolves, and he got he finished the task, and he thought that Slayer was kind of like a quest in WoW or something, where you finish your task and you have to go to a taskmaster and hand it in.
Yeah.
So he finishes his Slayer task, and then he's running. I don't know which direction he's running from, but he's running through Edgeville, and he sees the Slayer Master icon in Edgeville, and he goes, "Oh, cool! I can turn in my Slayer task here." And he goes and assignment from the Wilderness Slayer Taskmaster, and he gets mammoths.
Oh, okay.
And he's like level 50, and he's freaking out because now he's gonna kill these level 80 mammoths in the wilderness. So we like give him I give him he had like 30 range, so I give him full snake skin and like a maple bow and like 1,000 myth arrows, and
you'll be good. Here's some lobsters.
But he was safe. I gave him some food, but he was like super scared. He's like, man, I don't want to die in the wilderness. I'm so scared. So give him like a teletab, and me and my other buddy, we couldn't help him, but we're like level 120s. We were just like standing out in mammoths with him, and me and him just like sort of 1v1 each other. We just get PK sets and just fight each other for fun, give the gear back, and big EXP waste for us, but holy fuck, haven't had that much fun in a long time.
Yeah, that does sound like fun.
Yeah, we just like 1v1 for like hours and hours. It was good, and I messaged you to log on to your Pure, because he's the same level as my buddy, and
pretty
I
close.
like, brought him there, gave him a little scare, but like, I just kind of chilled there and waited for people to try and PK him.
Yeah.
And one dude just fucking like walks up and he starts freaking out. I'm like, nah, dude, you're fine. Like, don't worry about it. And I like look him up, and he's got like 70 or 80 range. He's got like 87 magic. I'm like, oh my god. And my buddy has 40 health. I'm like, he's gonna get fucking Darkbow Spectre teleblocked. He's so dead. So I log onto your Pure and I just start fucking him up. The guy just instantly tellies away.
Wow, now I'm gonna get banned.
Nah, dude, you can account share. You can everyone does it. Look at any PK YouTube like channel. Like, their fans give them their accounts to play on,
Anyways, don't leave us hanging. How'd the fight go? How'd the duel? How'd my peers stand?
He fucked him up. It was easy, Hit him with that D-Sim, whack him once with the anchor, hit him for like a 20, and I just Gmaul spec'd him and he tellied.
Oh, actually?
Oh yeah, the guy just pieced out.
Dude, motherfucker's got 80 range. That's scary.
Oh yeah. Dude, well, the thing is, like, I hit him one, I don't know what I hit him with the D-Sim, but like, I whacked him pretty, like, I got like the max hit on, with the anchor, and then I just pulled the Gmaul
11 because I got 56 strength.
Yeah, but like, you can combo for like 80 in total. Gmaul, or I don't know, I think the Gmaul might be a bit lower than anchor. I'm not too sure, but the anchor, I know it was like a 22 or something, and the Gmauls can definitely hit 20s. So you could easily just stack the guy out, and I think he knew that, so he just fucking tellied out.
Yeah, that's sick.
Felt pretty badass. But yeah, I don't know. A lot of dick.
I could
around.
never do that. See, I would switch to my anchor, accidentally spec with my anchor, and then switch to my Gmaul, hit him once, and he'd just like kill me.
Well,
Fuck
the thing
me.
with the Gmaul, me and my buddy, like, while we were like 1v1ing and dicking around, we did like MSB Gmaul, MSB DDS.
Oh, you're just kind of practicing.
Yeah, and then we would just do like melee and stuff, and he like I think the only PK he's ever done is with me, like when we go in the wilderness and just die, or like against me, because like I fucked him up quite a bit. I think he killed me like twice, but we were also using monkfish too, so like we can hit like 39s their D-Sims. Nice. So sometimes you just die because you're eating 30s over and over again, but it's usually how the kills would go. But one thing that he kept on doing, which I never even thought of, like he would attack me with the MSB and go to Gmaul me, and like he wouldn't attack. And it's the same with like melee weapons, but well, pretty similar. But like you're supposed to, like, as you're attacking or as the attack goes off, that's when you're supposed to spec with it, so it like automatically hits them, because they kind of changed how the Gmaul works.
Right.
Okay. Bug at Corp Beast where you could attack through walls. They just kind of fucked. But yeah, I don't know. It was good time. Got some sweet KOs,
Nice.
I got the PK itch. That's all I wanted to do. But
let's go PKing. Let's get a group together.
Dude, I'm down. Even though, like, we have to go deep, though, because I'm like, I got like 10 or 15 levels on you.
Nice shit. Yeah, we'll do fine. We'll take out some
I'm
other
just
mats.
a tanker noob, though. That's why.
Yo, we'll just go invade the wilderness, podcast TM, and we'll just, take out some scrubs.
Easy, just like that. We'll go in, double their money a couple times. Be pretty good.
Yeah.
But last thing I'm gonna say, and this fucking cheesed me, and this happened like last night. I'm slaying those fire giants in Neve's Cave, and I'm so lazy I bring a cannon.
Yep.
And I'm like talking to my friends, and I start doing something else, and I don't know what the hell I was doing, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh fuck, I should check on my RuneScape account. Log on, my cannon's gone, and I realized I went AFK for like 3 hours on RS.
No.
Yeah, I lost my cannon. I'm just like, I'm a fucking idiot. There goes 1 mil. Like, wait, what'd you do? I forgot to pick it up, and I just went I stopped playing RS for a couple hours and was playing games with you guys. I'm like, oh, that sucks.
That's like fucking dying and then just like not knowing you died and just like, okay, I'm not gonna play RuneScape for the day. And some guy's like gonna be standing there and just like, am I actually looting someone's dead body? This doesn't fucking happen anymore. This is unbelievable.
Yeah, I'm not too sure if you can loot someone's cannon because they changed it with the death mechanic, right? How you can't loot someone's dead body. Their items will just disappear after an hour. I hope to God my cannon disappeared. I don't want some fuck coming in. Oh, cannon. You know what I mean? I had to do fire giants and walk out with a mill.
I hope that's what happened. I hope some guy saw you there and just saw you log out and just saw the cannon sitting there and being like, I'm just gonna kill my task here anyways. It's been 20 minutes, the guy's still not back. What the fuck's going on?
After every kill, clicking pick up.
Yeah, and then he finally gets and he's probably like, no way. Yeah. No way. That's like 1 mil.
I want to say you can't do that, but that's just because I really want to believe you can't. I know you could back in the day because my friend watched some dude die at, they're on Karamja or whatever. Those like swarm thingies.
Oh, like the harpy bug swarms?
Yeah. He saw some dude cannoning there once. Like, this was time ago, like, cause this was so long ago, he called me to tell me about this. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, on my home phone line.
Wow. Home phones existed.
Yeah. This is dating it back a bit, but he called me and he was like, Deegan. Okay, so I'm doing Slayer, I'm killing these harpy bugs, and I see this guy killing them, and I don't know, he ends up logging out, and I just sat at his cannon, and I waited, and I picked it up, and that's how he got his first mill.
Damn.
Not bad. So maybe that happened with someone. Hopefully, I guess they took it.
What world was this in?
357 or 67, I forget.
All right, let's put the shout out there. If anyone out there, or if anyone knows someone who found a cannon in Neve's Cave in World 357, is that what you said?
Mm-hmm.
We put the bounty out there. If anyone found it, please return it.
I'm not too.
And you'll get your bounty of 2 mil. Okay, you want to offer like 2 mil for your cannon back?
No, I'm good. I mean, chances are someone's just gonna make it up. Oh yeah, I totally found it. And like, really, you can't even pick up the cannon; it just disappears.
So apparently, 13 people found my cannon.
Yeah,
confused.
I just think of it as giving back to the community after winning 8 mil.
Fair enough.
This shows how much I don't stake. All excited over an 8 mil win.
Just go leaving cannons everywhere.
Yeah. But yeah, what about yourself? Enough about what I did.
Well, actually, before we go forward, I was just kind of thinking, because when you first were talking about someone grinding out full graceful being one of their first goals in RuneScape, got me thinking, I feel like that would really cause you to unappreciate agility and energy and agility shortcuts and shit like that. Because I don't know about you, with stamina potions, since I've started using them, no matter what account I'm playing on, as long as it's not an Iron Man, and I don't really play an Iron Man account, I'll play on my pure and shit, I've always got to have stamina potions banked.
Yeah, I think, dude, I rip through stamina potions. I buy 100 at a time, and I'm like, fuck, I'm already out. But, he definitely had that issue too. Like, he's done a bunch of shit, and I told him, like, if you're questing, you're gonna really want if you're going for the Questscape, you're really gonna want full graceful, because, like, you're just running around all the time, dude. And he's like, oh yeah, well, I want my Questscape, and just, like, boom, he gets it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, this is gonna, when he makes a new account one day, there's gonna be all these situations where he's running into shortcuts where he can't do, and he's like, oh, what the fuck? You need agility for this? I thought it was just, a free shortcut, a freebie.
Yeah, I mean, he'll still get that quite a bit, but, like, I don't know. Once he starts, if he starts cranking out multiple quests in a day, that's when you're like, Like when I was doing that, I was doing like the big grind for the quest cape, getting like 5, 6 plus done a day, like 10 depending on how easy they were.
Yeah.
I was like, I was probably ripping through like 50 fucking stam potions a day, and like I had full graceful on like almost the whole time.
No, you definitely do need full graceful if you're going to be questing.
Yeah, makes it way more convenient.
But it was just a fun thing to think about where like, if someone who's never played RuneScape before grinds out full graceful originally, or is that better to do, or is it better for someone to feel the pain of having to run out of energy every 5 seconds?
I mean,
not being able to do any shortcuts and shit like that, and then being like, okay, you know what? I need this hooded gear.
Yeah, I mean, what I said to him was like, dude, you can either get 2.6 mil or full graceful if you're doing agility to full graceful, because that's how much. Unless the prices of the amethyst crystals changed,
yeah,
it's about 2.6 mil. That's like the quote-unquote value of it if you just bought the crystals and sold it instead of full graceful.
Yeah, it definitely makes you feel better about having to grind for it, because it is quite the grind. And I know a lot of people, like, it's really daunting. I think we were talking to someone listening, like a friend of the show, in the clan chat, and he was just saying how much of a pain in the ass agility is.
Yep.
And it sucks. And I think he was in the level 40s. And fucking, yeah, it sucks right from the get-go, basically. And if you're doing rooftops the whole time, I think, and that's what I did, and I got full graceful around level 65, or between 65 and 70.
Yeah.
So yeah, fun stuff. Anyways, for myself, what did I do? Real life, I went and saw Cirque du Soleil last Friday. That was pretty fucking sick.
Nice.
Saw people doing some spins and flips and contorting their body in ways that I'm like, what? Really? Come on, like, that's not even human.
Yep.
It was good. First time being to, well, me and you both went to a circus when we were younger, but that was like a legit circus with fucking elephants and clowns and stuff like that. This one was more like the way I thought of it was like a musical of like doing stunts and stuff like that, because they had like this insect theme, and then in between, I don't know, the performances, they'd have like a little, like actors almost doing a little storyline.
Yeah.
And it was actually pretty funny, because sometimes they would pull people like off the people from the crowd. They pull them on stage to be a part of it. Mm-hmm. And they pulled 2 people up. One was this guy, and it was they pulled him up, and the whole story was this one insect was trying to fall in love with this ladybug insect, and it was kind of like a romance going back and forth. And the ladybug pulls this older guy from the crowd and pulls him up, and he just stands there, and then the other insect pretends to get all jealous and shit. And then later on, he goes and pulls some like younger girl up, like in her like 20s or something. She's pretty good looking, but pulled her up, and suddenly she became part of the actual show for like 10 minutes. Like, she had to put on a costume of like these like little wings, and she had like this little butterfly catching net.
Oh my god.
And like, she had to like do all this shit. But the problem is like, when they're talking, everything's in French, right? So they're all talking in French. It's kind of like a musical. There's music playing in the background, there's someone singing and shit, and they're kind of like dancing around and stuff. So like, no, I don't think anyone's sitting there being like, okay, this is what you gotta do. So like, you know, they look at her, they'll say something in French and do some of these like, you know, outrageous hand gestures and shit, and then she has to kind of like figure it out. Eventually, she just took off all this shit and walked off. She's like, okay, fuck this. And like, you could see like the actors and stuff, they were kind of like, they looked at the crowd with like a kind of like, no, she didn't actually just walk off. And I guess they had to improvise, and they had like people had to like pick up all the costume and stuff. And
yeah,
the audience cheered when she walked off, because I think they felt her embarrassment, because she was on there for a while, and she had. But besides that, it was fucking sick. There's people doing these flips and juggling with like their feet, and they were juggling people that were juggling as well. Does that make sense?
Yep. Like when you're doing airplane with someone, but instead you're flipping them.
Yeah, man, it was unreal.
And they're flipping shit too.
Yeah, that was cool. I want to join the circus now, so that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, we are now changing to the Wilderness du Soleil podcast.
Yeah.
We become a circus.
Bonjour. Bienvenue.
Comment ça va? Ça va bien, ça va
Ça
très
va bien, ça va?
Comme ci, comme ça, ça va mal.
Anyways, I plan on learning French. I was going hard, I think, earlier this year with like Duolingo, and I got some bugs, so I was learning French. I was doing hard. I was doing well keeping up with it, but I got so busy just with RuneScape. You know how it is, right? When RuneScape picks up, you know, you just don't got time for other things.
Man, I used to love French when I first was learning it in grade 4, because I'm assuming, I don't know, because Canada's, bilingual, so like a normal public school, you'll start learning it in grade 4, which is like what, 8 or 9?
Yeah,
9, I think. And then you have to learn that up until grade 9, so grade 4 to grade 9.
Yeah, and then you can choose
they
to
have French
continue to learn
immersion
it if you
schools
want.
here where like it's all French, and people like go and starting from kindergarten, and they'll like they only teach you French. You'll have like an English class or something, but so
exactly.
you can be bilingual. And then I got to like grade 7, and I had a really bad French teacher, and I hated it. She was actually awful.
Honestly, I feel like that's the big problem, is you have these teachers that like don't really take it too seriously, so the class becomes a joke because sorry, I'll let you continue your story, but yeah, I think that's a huge one, what you're about to talk
you're
about.
totally right. Like grade 5, I remember grade 5, our French teacher comes in, and angry old lady looking type person, but she's like, all right, this class you can only speak French. I'm not gonna let you go to the bathroom, get a drink, anything, unless you can like converse with me in French. And you're like, oh, just like, fuck,
this is our first class, we don't know a word of French, this isn't fair.
Yeah, but I remember like being it was like one of our first days, right? And I barely know French. I remember like walking up to her and saying like, est-ce que je peux aller boire toilette? And she started laughing her ass off, because that means like, can I get a drink from the toilet?
Yeah.
But I was trying to ask how I get a drink from this like the fountain.
Yeah.
And then she like told me, and you're like, oh, okay, that's funny. But then like, you find out she's nice, and you actually start getting into like learning French and shit. She's like a really good teacher. And then like changed schools. So my other grade 5th and I guess grade 6th French teacher, that school, like I went to like this really fucking tiny ass school. It was so small, and like grade 6, we had like a math lesson, which was literally count all the kids in the school. So you just go to the teachers, ask their attendance sheet, and then you had to like, how many boys, how many girls, get the percentages and stuff. It was like 150 kids. Tiny. And the way they taught their French was like, you did plays, but they taught you like, the only way I can explain it is French sign language. So you'd speak and do actions at the same time.
Okay. Italian French?
Pretty much, yeah. Like you have to do like all these, but like it's, I have a friend who's like, he's Canadian, but he's like lives in Quebec, so he's fluent in French.
Yeah.
And whenever like we're talking about like just French or something, I'm kind of going off on a little tangent, but I'll do the hand signals that I learned, and I probably look fucking retarded. Like when I say like la guitar or la guitar, like I'll like start playing the guitar in my hands. And I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? And like I do a lot of weird ass shit like that. But yeah, like go to like grade 7. I still have this memory because I fucking hate this bitch. I went up and asked her a question about, it was like conjugating verbs or something. And she literally went, hey everyone, Derek doesn't know how to do this. Can someone teach him? Because I can't be bothered. And I was
Is this in the new school you went to, right?
This is like when I went to the middle school. And she literally did that. Like, and I'm like, you fucking bitch. Oh, I hate her. Oh. And then I just started hating French. But, because when you're saying that, this is where it kind of goes back. So I was like, stop trying to learn French. But then when you started learning it and you told me about it, I was like, fuck, I used to love French. I guarantee myself I could get back into it. And then I was looking it up, and apparently if you start learning a new language past the age of 6 or something, you'll have an accent.
Okay.
But if you start learning at 6 or before 6 or whatever, you can actually learn like how to speak it without an accent. And I don't know, like the native phonetics, I guess. And you can like,
you can definitely learn to speak it with an accent too. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. Well, like they say, like once you get older, the way your brain works with languages, it gets solidified with like, I don't know. That's why like there's the typical like Asian accent when they're speaking English or something, or the French person is because like they learn it at like an older age, where just the way they learn their language, it's like just cemented in their brain, and they like use like knowledge of like how they talked in their language, and
exactly. You get so used to pronouncing words and things in like your native tongue that when you like try to speak in a different thing, you still have these habits, right?
Yeah, like if someone
in Chinese and like Japanese, they don't have the R sound in a lot of things. That's why like, you know, that's like a huge stereotype, but it's because like if you think about it, when you're making the R sound, just do it slowly and like focus on what your mouth and tongue is doing. It's kind of really awkward and weird.
Yeah.
It's weird because like it's a lot different than just like a t or a g. You know what I mean? There's much
or
more
like a
simple
L or something. Yeah.
L, ka. Because like because I was saying before when I was like just learning Japanese a bit. It's kind of cool because I forgot pretty much everything I learned, but the takeaway I got from it was the way that language worked, and all of their letters are just simple sounds like ka, chu, sa, te.
Yep.
You know what I mean? T, stuff like that, like chi, like those. That's a letter, chi. And you know, like ki, ka. Those are all different letters, right? And like as I was learning it, I'm just like, man, that makes so much sense. Like this is, and I was using some app and it was saying like, when you start learning the way Japanese works, you'll realize it's a lot more of a simple language than something as English is.
Yeah, because English is fucking stupid. Have you seen that poem some dude wrote? And it's like has the word like trough, through, cough, rough, and like,
oh yeah,
I probably said through, but like all those like just weird words that are spelled the same, but like they'll be pronounced different.
Yeah, it's like something like you have words like cough and tough, which are TOUGH, and then you have a word like though, THOUGH. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Which
exactly.
Is like,
yeah,
it suddenly becomes silent. It's silly. Yeah, I guess
I tried reading that poem, and even though I speak English, I'm definitely not fluent. You guys probably like listen to me say some dumbass shit sometimes, very improper English. But like I was trying to read it and be like, oh, okay, let me just take a breather. This is starting to hurt my head because like this like I can't imagine like learning English and like, all right, here's your English test, and they just plop this poem down, and it's like, fuck.
God damn it. This isn't
But
fair.
Yeah, I kind of cut you off and went on a tangent. What else did you do this week?
No, this segues into it. So yeah, we got a notice from the Canadian board, like the media board, and we actually have to do our show in Duolingo. I mean, Duolingo, bilingual now. Yep. So the second half of the show will be fully in French. Mm-hmm. So yeah, for a French listener out there, you can definitely tune in and hear that once the English part is finished.
Bonjour tout le monde. Like, if I knew more French, I could actually start reading the updates in French.
Yeah. Okay. So that's that. Now let's go back to RuneScape because the stuff that actually matters, right?
Yep. It's what everyone came here for.
RuneScape lacks in comparison. I mean, real life lacks in comparison.
Yep.
What have I been doing?
Yeah, I've seen you on a decent amount, I think.
Yeah, like there's been a couple days where I really was able to sit down. I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to sit down and play for like a couple hours because I got like yesterday I got off early just because it was so fucking hot out and like we came home. So I got off a couple hours early, came home and just was able to sit down and jam a solid session. I've really decided to take a break from Slayer, I think, because that's been my that's basically how I've been making my money and like training my strength and stuff. But I've been doing that for a while and then I was using all that money to put towards construction. I was getting kind of burnt out because the cycle is just, I don't know. I've been doing it since like fucking January, I think. So you can understand why I might get a little burnt out.
Let me cut you off. You have your fighter torso, right?
I do.
Do you plan on getting the fighter hat?
Like eventually, honestly, because I said this a couple episodes ago, maybe even last one, but I keep thinking back to like when I'm bored, I think like, fuck, what can I do? And then this is the conflict. Do I EXP waste or do I do something that's just literally like Castle Wars or something? Yeah. But what's always in the back of my head was when I did Barbarian Assault and I found like a solid group and we really just kind of we just synced really well. And we were able to just blast through a bunch of rounds. And then when people were like, okay, I'm finished doing my attacker mode, this person's like, here, I'll swap you because I need to do attacker. And we were able to just do it like a couple times, get to the queen and stuff. And it was really just, we had a good time too. Like I remember it just being fun. Yep. And I keep thinking back to like, I really want to really get back into Barbarian Assault, maybe get a group together. Maybe I'll get on Discord or something and just get everyone the fighter torso or get everyone the max levels for the elite diaries or get everyone the penance hat.
Yeah.
But
because,
yeah, why are you asking?
My two friends that I was talking about earlier, they need them.
Oh, okay.
They're like, they know, they've heard me say like, oh yeah, it's good. And then I was like, you know, Derek, what do you use for Slayer? Fighter torso, Bandos tacits. Wait, you use your fighter torso like still? Yeah, dude. And so does my other buddy. You know what I mean? Like, wait, really? Like, yeah, man, you gotta get that ASAP because the longer you wait, the more you're missing out. That's the best way I can, put it. Like, if
you want to benefit it from as soon as you can.
Yeah, same thing with barrel gloves and fire cake. That's what I said to them. Like, if you can get those, like, the second you're, like, physically able to, your account's actually able to do it, you know, like, 43 prayer, like, 75 range for, like, someone who's never got it before, it's like, it pays off the more you use it. No,
Exactly.
So they're kind of excited to do it. I need to get my fighter hat for bossing, and so does my buddy.
So, yeah, hold on, let me back up. Why were you asking about the fighter hat for me? Why would I get the fighter hat compared to anything else?
Most people get the fighter torso, and then they get the fighter hat afterwards.
Okay. Do you want to go into why or what fighter hat does?
The fighter hat is really good for bosses like Bandos.
Okay.
Here, let me,
I think I know the summary for the brief stats because I might be missing some stuff. I thought maybe you had some hidden knowledge there, but anyways, I'm pretty sure it works just like the warrior helmet, but it gives you maybe extra defense.
It gives you bonus attack to slash and stab and crush, but
so it's better than the warrior helmet.
So it doesn't have strength bonuses, but it's got +5 to attack and whatnot.
So it's good for accuracy, melee accuracy.
Yeah, so bosses like Bandos, like bosses that have like high defense, like you're not worried about like the 3 strength bonus. Like you want to get as much like bonuses as possible. So if you're not using like melee void at like Bandos, then you'd be using the fighter hat.
Okay.
And like I have to, whenever I do Bandos, I have to bring full melee void, or I'm bringing full tank gear if I'm tanking it. And like if you bring the fighter hat, it actually opens you up for like just so many other options. Plus, it looks stupid as hell, so you kind of need to get that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But
you
yeah,
gotta get
it's
the whole
really good.
set because the whole thing looks ridiculous.
Yeah,
It looks like you're straight from Toy Soldiers.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you remember what the monsters were called? In Toy Soldiers?
I have no idea.
This is important. I'm gonna figure it out. Toy Soldier factions. I'm gonna type that in. Continue talking.
But I was gonna say, because I need to get the fighter hat, and then afterwards, I also want to get the pennant skirt for Fashionscape. Because
okay, yeah, that's
because right now, because I went and did the gay pride event last week, and I got the rainbow necklace, and it actually like I have like such a sweet setup for my Fashionscape. It's so fucking ridiculous, but I don't know. I like Fashionscape. I got a bunch of sets, and I need the pennant skirt to add to it.
Yeah, like I said, it's a pretty fun thing. So even for people listening, if you want to get your Barbarian Assault and shit, throw it in like our Discord, or we can like maybe get a group together and just blast it out. And it's a lot of fun when it's not just randoms, because like sometimes randoms will just like, even if I'm with randoms, sometimes they'll just drop out if I don't feel like playing anymore, because I don't want to be like,
people
hey,
do that all.
sorry,
They just
guys.
like leave you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, let us know, because I'm not probably going to get my pennants or the fighter hat first. I'd probably get, honestly, like start maxing out or leveling up each class.
Oh, true. Yeah, I find most people don't like Barbarian Assault just because of the defender role, but their like YouTube videos, they're like 15 minutes long, and they're in so much depth. Like they're so deep, and like this is how you stack the runners, so you only have to use one, trap repair, and you can kill 3 or 4. Like, and there's people that are actually like I'm shit at defending. Like, be straight up with you guys, I'm really bad at it.
It's annoying. But, it's a tedious thing to do.
Yeah, but I think it's
I bet you shift click helps with it.
Yeah.
Holy fuck! I never even thought about that. That's huge.
But like, I find if I were to get the defender role like down pat, I'd love Barbarian Assault way more, because I like doing all the other roles. I hate defending so much that I always make sure I do defending first to get out of the way. Just so
defending is probably one of the hardest. So like
it definitely is the hardest.
This is what kind of frustrates me, and I'm not like a pro at Barbarian Assault, so this information could definitely be in the category of when you're teleblocked, you can still teleport with a glory. But this is a PSA because this is what I always try to do, and from what I've seen, it always helps. And I remember when Barbarian Assault first came out, there was a huge myth where like if you used your eggs and shit to kill things, you lost points or something like that.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I could be wrong about this, but this is what I've always done, and I just found it always helped, and I haven't really had anyone arguing. The only problem is I just see people not doing it. So, for Barbarian Assault, you have the collector where you collect the eggs that drop from the minions that die, okay?
Yep.
The different colors. So you collect all the eggs, and then you put them in the basket, and there's these cannons. Then you have an attacker. The attacker can kill one of 3 different types of monsters, I believe. So you have the attackers killing out those. They have the healer who heals people and is also taking out one of the other 3 type of monsters. And then you have the defender who's taking out the last type of monsters. So the hardest monsters to kill are just the defenders, because you have to... It doesn't matter how good you are for the most part. Sometimes you're just basing it on hopefully the monsters follow the trail you laid out, because sometimes they just pick different treats and it's frustrating depending on how you drop them. It just gets annoying for people who are, especially if someone who's new to it.
Yep.
So when you kill all of your monsters, if you're an attacker or a healer and you kill everything, or if you're the collector, start taking out the defender.
The penance runners.
Yeah, the penance runners with the cannon, because what I find is the penance runners are always the last ones to die, and that will speed things up so fast, and it just helps the defender too.
Yeah.
So just like I said, I remember there was a huge kind of, I don't know if it was a myth, but I just think it's a myth now. And
it is a myth, because you lose points if anything gets to the entrance. That's how you lose, right?
If it goes through it once, exactly. You lose some points there.
You might lose points, but honestly, like, you're there to get to the queen to get a bunch of points. Like, that's why you're doing it. When you're doing it, you're not like trying to get to wave 5, right? When you're doing, you want to get to the queen so you can get it done, and the queen gives you like the majority of the points.
Plus it gives you like a solid 75 points in all your other classes.
Yeah. So you just want to get there as fast as you can and do that.
Yeah. That's basically it. So, because when I was defending and when I had a team that wasn't really synchronized, and honestly, maybe the only reason I am having had a great time with that team is because people were actually using the cannon. But I know I had so many people that when they were done their task, they would just kind of sit around. And sometimes they wouldn't even shout out their horn anymore. You know what I mean? People just kind of stopped. They were just like, okay, we're done. And I had to kind of tell people, yo, jump on that cannon. There's 2 cannons. You can help me take out these runners, and we can just blast through it so fast, and we'll all get more points the faster it's done. Mm-hmm. And so I just want to put a PSA there that if you're finished, jump on that cannon and just start blowing them up, because it'll definitely help.
Yeah.
Maybe try not to stun the runners, because that could get annoying for the...
Yeah, that can fuck some shit up sometimes.
Yeah, anyways, eventually get your full gear so that you can look like a Gorgonite from Toy Soldiers.
Nice, you got the name.
And so I didn't do any Barbarian Assault this week. It was just something that I enjoy and I'm going to do 1 week in the future.
Yeah, we got to get some groups going, you know?
It's completely unrelated. So all I've basically been doing was I did some AFK things like fishing and some wood cutting, and then I decided to get my full rogue outfit to go to the rogue's den and just blast through all that. And it was so fucking frustrating at first. And I think you were over at my house, so then you kind of showed me, here's how you do it.
Yep.
And that minigame is so outdated that anyone, like your friend who's new to the game, if he does it without anyone showing him or him watching a YouTube video, like literally, it makes a difference of like tripling the fucking time it takes it.
Yeah.
Way more, because you don't fail as much, because there's a lot of traps you can bypass without having to disarm them.
Yep.
And a lot of it is just because of the way RuneScape works with the ticks and stuff. And like most people wouldn't know that, because no other game would let you bypass them the way RuneScape does. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know, they gotta fucking do something and like either update it or kind of, they gotta show some way that, hey, when there's a floor trap on the ground, if you walk in one tile away from it and then you run over it to the one tile on the other side, you'll completely ignore it. You don't have to like, you'll ignore it every time.
Yeah, the floor traps, you can walk over one of them. So if there's 1 and then 2 empty spaces on either side, you walk over it. And if there's 2 next to each other, then you can run over it. And then plus you can do diagonal walks. You can walk on diagonals. You can skip so many traps. And
but the thing is, not a lot of people are gonna know this. And half the time, if you're like me, you're not gonna like be halfway through the maze and be like, I'm gonna figure out if I can, run over this trap. You're gonna be like, no, I'm gonna take the safe way, because I've already spent 5 minutes disarming all this, and I don't even know how fucking long this thing is. Yeah,
let me disarm these first 2 and then run over it. Yeah, it's kind of silly for people to like I watched a video as I did it, just because I've played RS long enough to know that there's someone that always knows a better way to do it than you. So I like watched some dude do it, and I just did one run with him. I'm like, all right, pretty simple. And then I like did a couple runs, got bored.
Yeah, like you show me the way to do it. You show me the way to do it, so I was kind of doing it your way, and then I'd see someone come up, and we'd kind of be racing together, and then I'd see him do it even better than what you showed me, and I'm like, oh fuck! So I had to adapt that. So I think like that's the way you figure it out. But there's a long stretch where I just saw nobody doing it.
Oh yeah, it's a bitch.
And then so after that, I eventually to get my rogue set, I went and got my Ardone. I always pause after they say that because for like 10 years, do you want to know how I pronounced Ardone?
How?
Ardragon.
Yeah, I remember that because I remember reading it when I was a kid, being like, what the fuck is that? And then you said Ardragon, and I was like, oh, okay. And that's how I said it. And then someone was like, nice English, Deegan. I'm just kidding. But they called it Arandos. And I was like, oh, okay, well, you're wrong too. And then I heard a friend call it Ardown, and I was like, oh. Well, Lithuanian can speak English way better than I can. Can read way better than me.
Yeah, it's a good game.
It's fucking RuneScape, man.
Like I said, that's I think that's why I have such a trouble with so many of games that or names Jagex gave things in the game.
You read them when you're little and shit,
yeah,
and then they just stick in your
head. And then you know Ardone is Ardragon, and then you hear it's Ardone, and you're like, that sounds fucking stupid. Why don't they just call it Ardragon? That sounds like an actual city with a castle and a king and things to do in.
Yeah.
So, got my Ardragon easy and my Ardragon medium diaries done. So I got the cape, which gave me, what was it? Like an extra 10% on pickpocketing NPCs within Ardragon.
Yep.
And, yeah, so I got that. And I went and pickpocketed. What are those knights called? The
Knights of Ardone? Knights of Ardy?
Okay, this is going to get confusing. But yeah, Knights of Ardy.
Yep.
Pickpocket those for like a solid couple hours. And got about 200k from them, which I don't know if that's good money or not, but it feels like it definitely wasn't. But started doing some Pyramid Plunder, and I think I'm going to keep doing Pyramid Plunder until I get the Pharaoh Scepter, which is like 1 in 1,000, and you can only, you only get like a limited number of chances within each, round of the Pyramid Plunder.
Yeah.
But fast experience, I don't honestly, like, sometimes it might seem like it's slower than just pickpocketing, but it feels faster because you go into the pyramid, you have 5 minutes to just loot all these different chests, and there's, the higher level your thieving is, the higher you can go into the pyramid, and the more experience you get from the chests. So, and the urns and stuff like that. So, it feels faster because after the 5 minutes, it kicks you out, and like, I'm sitting there and it's like, I look at RS buddy and it's like, oh, you went from 0 to 15% in thieving, and I'm just like, it's not too bad. I only have to do like 4 of those. Like, that's nothing.
Yeah.
So.
I think knights are faster, but doing knights, you're literally just like, that's what you're doing. You're just like hitting your fucking key, your mouse key plus or whatever, just left clicking nonstop.
And the problem is you look away for a minute because you're watching Netflix or doing whatever and fucking look back and you're just like running in a circle because the knight moved.
Oh, I find that I die. I look back, I'm just fucking running in a line in Lumbridge, and I'm like, or Falador. I'm like, you fucking, fuck. All right, I'm gonna go grab my shit again. Cause like, I'll watch a movie and get really into it and just clicking away. But yeah, the Pyramid Plunder is definitely more interesting with possibly more reward.
And it's more enjoyable.
To be like, it's easier to be like, all right, 5 more runs instead of like, all right, half of a movie.
200 more clicks.
Yeah.
In general, pickpocketing, I'm leveling up pretty fast and they're pretty easy. I don't know what I'm going to level it to. I'm just kind of doing it. I'm getting some money. Yeah, I decided maybe I'll do Pharaoh Scepter for a bit and get some money from that. I don't really know. I'm just kind of taking a break in general from Slayer because, I'm doing that. I did that. Felt like a shit ton and I was getting burnt out and I found myself playing less and less. And I was like, you know what? And the only problem is like when I'm doing like, let's go thieving and I get 200k after, an hour or so, 2 hours almost of pickpocketing the Arty Knight. I'm sitting there like, man, if I'm killing the Necreals, which is my task right now, I'd have like triple that.
Yep.
But I'm just trying not to think about that. Plus, I'm sitting at 98 strength, so you can definitely see where you're like, oh, just go do it. But I'm like, nope.
I mean, you should, but also you're gonna have to get thieving up at some point. Especially like if you want to be doing diaries and shit, like you need, I guess 70, 77, and then you boost 5. I think 82 might be the highest. No, I think you probably need higher than that. But I know with the Fremenic ones, you need 82, I believe. Thieving.
Okay.
If you're not boosting. So and doing those diaries make Dagonoth bones noted.
Yeah. Plus,
which is super nice.
I'd have to say it's probably one of the best ways of making money if you got cleaned out completely, like someone hacked into your account and just deleted everything.
Yep. Good way to start off fresh, you know.
It's a good way to start off fresh. So anyways, yeah, that was my week there. So, but before we go into the news, I kind of had an interesting question as well. Fuck, look at me. I'm just deep thinks with the Wilderness podcast today, boys.
Yep.
And girls. So, yeah, when I was doing the Rogues Den, I was seeing barely anybody. And I know, like, you can kind of dedicate worlds to it. I don't know if you could do this, if this is in the realm of possibility with just the way their game works and the engine and that type of jazz. But what do you think of the idea of being able to have, like, you go into the Rogues Den and it doesn't matter what world you're on, you just get ported to your own little Rogues Den server with everyone else doing Rogues Den?
See, I think it would be pretty sweet if because they have to revamp it.
Eventually.
They gotta change it, like,
especially if you're gonna be giving an update to the rewards from it, because now more people are gonna do it.
They've done it
just gonna be
times.
Like, what the fuck?
Like, it used to be like a 50% boost to pickpockets. Now it's 100%, and then now you can't get stacks. You can't get multiples of a gear, and you get like them in crates now. You don't even get the piece. You get a crate, and
the crate part, I think, is because it's so outdated. People don't want to run it a bajillion and a half times.
Yeah. And it's dumb that you can't bring any gear. Like, I want to put on my Rogue's gear and go through it, or bring, like, my Graceful. But I guess I can understand why. But I think it'd be kind of cool to, like, you could opt in, like, you go to the world, you can opt in to go in with a party. So if you have, like, a lower rate, like, let's say you have, like, 50-50, like, thieving and agility, because there are obstacles there that you can fail. Just, it's RNG, right?
Yeah.
So it'd be cool if, like, you know, like, my buddies want to go and get Rogues Den shit, but they're getting annoyed that they keep failing stuff, or they're kind of confused. We could join a party together, and we can do it together, and if one person gets it, you both get the reward.
That's interesting.
Be kind of cool, and it would also open up, like, you could buy runs if you're that lazy, or that low level, you can't be bothered. You could buy runs for some dudes that pay you X amount per thing, and, like, I mean, I don't think it would be game-changing for it, but it would be fun. Like, I would definitely go and get my Rogues gear with my friends. With, like, you know, we could go into a party. I can do these traps. You can do these traps. And then as long as one of us can crack the case or whatever, crack the hole and get it, then we all get it, or something like that. Be kind of cool.
That just, it opens up. Okay. Now, yeah, it opens up with some ideas for, like, an update towards it, because, like,
yeah,
some people might not like it, but let's just pretend it's a side project or whatever, because right now, if you go and do it, you're going to be like, wow, this is not only is it really not fun, but you can just tell how out of date it is.
Yeah.
Compared to other content.
I think with the whole, like, dedicated server with, like, you can choose to go into a party and just have multiple people going in together. It just, you don't even have to change the map. Like, what if you have 4 people, like, and you guys are all new? Okay, let's split up and find the fastest way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you guys are, like, just all new to the game, like, you could do a lot, and, like, that would kind of make it so they don't have to change the mini game, because it's like, Rogues Den's too hard. We'll find, like, 4 other people. Only one of you guys have to get to the end.
Yeah, it does make it a little bit easier, but that does sound like a good idea. It kind of makes it become more of, like, you can think of it on the same lines of, like, Wintertodt now for pickpocketing, but instead of, like, getting great experience, maybe give it maybe a little bit better rewards so that you could actually run it once you got full rogue set and it's not pointless. Because it's shit experience, you know what I mean? Like,
well, yeah, you only do it for the gear.
Yeah, if it's just for the gear. So maybe, why not give it a little bit of loot? You don't have to make it so it can compete with anything else. Just give it something so maybe people who enjoy it. And when you were talking about the update idea, I was kind of thinking, like, this is kind of got my brain working, like, what if? What if they just kind of took out Rogue's Den how it is now, and they kind of changed it, revamped it a bit, and they did with your idea of you can go in with a party, and like it's similar to Rogue's Den, but instead of a lot of it's just like you have to exploit the way the engine works and run across these traps. What if there's like all these like different traps, and you as a party can like disable them, and then it's disabled for your party. And then it's more like let's work together to disable this, get through this path. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like someone right-clicks distract or something. The guard runs to them and everyone runs by and grabs a flash powder and stuns them, and then you run by.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
And things like, because right now when you disable a trap, it takes down your agility and your thieving or one or the other each, you know what I mean? So maybe you could do it like, oh shit, this guy's been hurt a lot. I need to hang back and you guys need to do more work, so I'm going to die.
Yep.
And you're like, fair enough, you've been doing all the work. You've been, leading the party, so now it's my turn. Something like that. I think it would just give it more fun. More people would be working together. And like, now with the raids out and they have that party system, I don't think it's that hard to start implementing that party system within other mini games. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know it might be a lot to ask for, but I'm just saying it's a cool idea, and RuneScape's fun to always speculate on, what ifs. Because at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if they did change Rogue's Den to make it a little bit more updated and fresh.
Yeah, we can only hope, though.
Yeah, so there's my little update suggestion. Now, what updates do we have we actually got?
All right, so we got we got some updates to talk about. So hopefully we talked about this a bit ago. I'm pretty sure we did with the OSHD client. I mean, if you guys are up to date with the subreddit, you guys probably heard this a little bit ago, but
we definitely have talked about it because there's also been a bunch of different ones that sprout out. There was like OSHD, and then there was another one. I can't even remember, but I know there's been other suggestions, and they get like kind of popular. And
yep,
yeah. So another one of those, eh?
Yeah. So when OSHD started becoming really popular, a friend made a video, and that like really wanted everyone like really wanted like it to be a thing, because even though I remember RS like being what the graphics are right now, right? Like that's what I grew up with, and that's what I would always prefer to use. I do like the idea of like the newer graphics being there, because some things like the water did look super cool, but I don't think I'd use it. But there are people that like that's when they played like just before EOC, right?
True.
And people were like, "Oh, gateway to EOC," but people enjoyed the game on how it was, and they kind of some people wanted better graphics or whatever. Mm-hmm. And there was two people that said that they been working 2 years on this client, this OSHD client, and Jagex said almost immediately that the client would be flagged as a bot client just because
the chance
of how it
of
works.
It. Yeah, this is
always
they
said
chance.
They said that like it pops the red flags up.
Yeah, it's not the same as like OS Buddy or Conduit. It works a little bit differently. Yeah,
because like OS Buddy, people are scared about getting banned for using it, and I've had to like talk to people. The guy who made OS Buddy, he had made a bot. I don't know what the bot, like Power Bot or something, way back in the day. He originally made a botting client, and then he got bought out. That his bot or website, whatever, got bought out by Jagex. They shut it down, and he joined the OldSchool team or the Jagex team, and he's the reason why you can dismiss random events. I forget what the guy's name is. I'm sorry. I wish I knew what his name was. I probably
is this true? He was a Jagex mod. He was
a Jagex employee. Yeah. And he helped them get bot busting. Like he's the reason why the player count was at like 17K for a long time, because there were so many bots in the game. And he was like, "This is how you fix it. This is how I did it." And he like taught them how to, get rid of the bots. And he added bot detection and shit. Like upgraded the fuck out of it for them. And like we all know that random events were there, and the reason why they were aggressive and they're mandatory was because of bots. Because a lot of bots couldn't navigate the maze and the beekeeper. I mean, no one can navigate the fucking beekeeper. I hate that goddamn event. And especially, it would teleport you to the middle of nowhere. And yeah, like some of the shittier scripts, I guess, couldn't handle random events, but his code or whatever, his bot busting code or whatever, was so good that they could just, now you can just right click to dismiss because we have ways to detect it now. And, eventually he leaves the team and he makes OS Buddy. And because he knows what he's allowed to do and what he's not allowed to do for it to be a botting client, he makes OS Buddy, and he's like, he walks that gray line. Like he's like right on the line of like, putting shit that you're like, that's, you're not allowed to. And I'm pretty sure in the past he's put shit in that he has to take out because Jagex.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I remember him things that like, okay, no, this is it's a little sketch.
Yeah, so yeah. Like, so this guy kind of like plays with that, playing with fire of like giving the players everything they can without it becoming, bannable.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why OS Buddy's really profitable and you can pay, whatever. So he's probably making more money.
Is that a true story?
And so yep.
100%?
100%, yep. So
okay, I've never heard that. And I know kind of like the PowerBot story, but like, and I know like, this guy's able to do OS Buddy because he, you know what I mean? He doesn't cross that line. And plus, the biggest thing you'd have to be worried about is an update that allows him to like hack into your account. But the thing is, like, he makes so much money that like he wouldn't want to jeopardize it.
The guy makes so much fucking money.
I pay. I don't know about you, but I pay $2 a month.
I don't. I used to, but I don't anymore just because I'm too lazy. But
these $2 really, like, I think about like really not much. And plus, either they had a free pro weekend or something, but I tried it out and I was like, these features I really need.
Yep. A lot of people are like scared of him, like, oh, he's got your account info, he's gonna hack you. Like, there's times like a couple years ago when people would, that typical, I got hacked, Reddit, save me. And then people would say, oh, are you using OS Buddy? Well, that's why. But it's like, this guy makes so much money a month because like so many users use OS Buddy and so many of them pay for pro that like he makes more money just keeping his client legit and where it is right now, right?
Yeah, he'd be an idiot.
Yeah, he'd be an idiot to hack people. And usually it's cuz they bought their account off fucking Scythe or something. That's why they got hacked. Don't fucking buy. We know a guy who used to sell his account on Scythe and then hack it every few months. Like, we know a guy that would do that.
I might need a refresher, but
Sean.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He used to tell him that's how he fucking bought his weed and shit for like a little bit.
No, I was thinking, I'm like, he would never sell his account. But no, once he made this quit, yeah, he definitely would. I want to try to get him on the show because he's same age as me, and I met him when I went to the school in grade 8, and we met because I heard him maybe say RuneScape or something, and I had to be like, I was his partner for something, and somehow I found out he played RuneScape. I was like, I play RuneScape too. Next thing you know, best friends for life, playing RuneScape together. But the thing is, like, I was like level 80 when we met, and this guy was like level 100. So I'm like, oh fuck, this guy's
back in like 2007-ish.
Shit, no, this is way before that.
No,
I'm
2005. This is when it happened.
I'm like, shit, this guy's intense. But anyways, this guy went hard. Like, before I ended up quitting and he quit, he ended up getting like 126. He had max Herblore, max Prayer. He had like 3 Santas and a party hat, full Halloween set. And this is when that right there, that's like he probably had like hundreds and hundreds. Like, he was fucking loaded.
Yeah, P hats go for like hundreds of mil. Yeah.
Yeah, he had like a purple party hat, which was like 350 mil or some shit. And the Santa hats were something like 50 mil or 80 mil. I can't remember. They've jumped around so much since, but fuck. This guy went fucking hard. And then, yeah, I think he quit and ended up selling his account. But yeah, he still recovers it because from time to time he'll message me and be like, hey, you play RuneScape? Mm-hmm. I'm like, yeah, I play OldSchool. And the only problem is it's so hard to get him to part with his old account because all the time and work, which is understandable. He was a maxed account, combat account with like, he had like over 100 mil in woodcutting because he wanted to be in the top 10s. And he was in like, I think the highest he ever got was like, he was under 100. He was in like the 50s or something.
Yep. He went to Zesma's wedding.
Oh, really?
I remember him telling me that. Yeah, he showed me a screenshot of him being at Zesma's wedding.
Fuck, man. Crazy.
I want to say
so
the video, in the videos like that someone posted or whatever of Zesma's wedding, you can see him in it. Like, the guy might hover over him. I don't know. I might be just saying that, but I remember be like, holy shit, there he is. But anyways,
I just wanted to fucking like just talk about him quickly, because this was like, we're in high school, but like there were days where he'd skip school to stay home and just grind wood cutting all fucking day. He'd just not be. I'm like, where were you, man? He's like, oh, I just stayed home, fucking wood cut for like 8 hours and shit. Mm-hmm. But like, anyways, that guy was really good at this game and shit. But it was like pretty cool. And yeah, I want to get him on the show because it'd be cool to get his perspective on like how things were and how things are now and shit like that. Because when he does jump on, he'll go on RS3 sometimes just because that's where his account is. He doesn't want to start all over. But yeah, little tangent there from that. Let's,
But yeah, I was gonna...
What's this about OS Buddy?
I mean, the whole point I was talking about OS Buddy was because the guy, his name's Matt or something. I should have Googled it while you were talking, but whatever. The guy who made OS Buddy got like pretty upset that the whole community was like pushing for OSHD. And he was like saying, oh, you know, they just ripped all the like the assets from a private server that used the HD, the OSHD, sprites or whatever, assets, graphics, whatever. And, you know, he was pretty upset about it, which makes sense because this client had a lot of really cool features like click boxes and all this stuff.
And it was threatening his revenue. And yeah, that account, looking at the HD, it looked fucking nice.
Yeah.
Real nice.
And so, community really wanted it, and, you know, Jagex is kind of like, well, give us the, like, you know, it's flagged for botting. There's something up with it. You just, you know, send us the code, and, you know, we'll either, I don't know. They just wanted to look at the code and make sure it's legit.
Make sure everything's
I don't really know. They just kind of asked for it.
That's probably what they did with OS Buddy. Someone went over it and was like, okay, yeah, this seems all good.
Yep. So, they ask for the code, and then by June 12th, Monday, they're like, we will give you guys an update. And everyone's like, you know, kind of sitting there waiting. And, you know, a couple memes, and people were like speculating on how big the freak out would be, the community, once, you know, if the client doesn't go through. But
yeah,
Monday comes along, they release a post on their website, and they're like, sorry, nope, we can't accept it as of right now, because it's getting flagged for our bot detection, and the only two ways they can go about it, because they say that the client is just not compatible with our bot detection system, and like a friend got banned for using it, you know what I mean? So there are bans, right? And so anyways, they say the only two ways they can go about this is either they send the code to Jagex and they like look over it, or they tell OSHD what their bot detection is. And obviously they're not going to do that. They'd be really stupid. And so like, yeah, we've given these guys like well over a week to give us the code. They gave them a lot of time to just fucking send them a file or send them their GitHub, whatever.
Yeah.
And, look at our code, and and then we'll fix it, and you guys can have OSHD. And, they never did it. And like that day, they said, sorry, we're shutting down. It was a good run. And which is weird though, because if me and you worked on something for 2 fucking years, like imagine me and you doing this podcast for 2 years, and then Jagex is like,
can you send us the files so we can look through it and shit?
Not even that. It's like, can you make an episode and talk about blank?
I think us. I think the perfect comparison would be sending them like our episode. I have like a folder with all of our episodes, like the raw files.
Yeah.
It'd be like sending them that.
Send us the files, and then you can come to RuneFest and be official. I don't know, something. You guys can be the cool cats of the club, or I don't know, fucking know. Definitely not that, because I just said that, but I don't know. Whatever. And then we're like, no. It's like, they threw away quote unquote 2 years of their life, but I don't know. I honestly kind of jump on the bandwagon of everyone, and including the guy, the OS Buddy dude, saying that they just ripped the files from a private server.
Yeah.
Apparently one of them was like a mod or one of the coders for the private server, for a certain private server. And, if OSHD were to send the code to Jagex, it would like, 1, it would fuck with a bunch of private servers, and then 2, you know, it's stolen assets and shit, right?
Yeah, this is all speculation though.
So it'd be illegal, and they could get in a lot of shit for that.
Yeah, like the biggest thing, this is from kind of seeing it all go down, and I was reading through like the comments stuff, because I'm not really good with this shit. So like the code and stuff, I'm like, okay, maybe it's just, you could send it to me. I could be like, I don't even know what I'm looking at. I don't know if that's code or not. Whatever. So anyways, but reading on, the subreddit and stuff like that and other people talking about it, and I guess obviously not everyone knows what they're talking about, but it seemed like, and what a lot of people were saying is like, it seems like Jagex went back, probably talked to their lawyers and saying, what should we do? And the lawyers were like, hey, if you guys say this account's okay, and they're, they stole your assets and stuff like that, or like they put a keylogger on the shit like that, like you guys are going to get you guys will be at fault for this one. So if you guys want to be safe, get the codes, go through it. And then,
yep.
Yeah, they never got it. Yeah, it's basically, from what I'm saying, it's like, no, these are things that they definitely sounds like lawyers gave them the advice to do this, because, like, makes sense. And, but also a lot of it's speculation on why they didn't send it over. But it can't, basically it can't be good. Why wouldn't? You know what I mean? Why wouldn't we? Or why wouldn't they? So,
yeah. And they say, like, the bottom of, like, the update, I'm kind of paraphrasing, but if they continue to push the client and with, kind of ignoring what Jagex is asking from them, they'll have to,
of course,
take legal action against them in order to, like, just make sure everyone's safe and stuff, right? And to make sure that, they're not getting ripped off. But, I don't know if this has anything to do with it, but I'll just say it, because whatever. Like, RuneScape is made with its own, like, they have, like, a Jagex, like a rune coder. Like, they do all their program. They have, like, their own, like, client and stuff for their own coding. And at least back in the day, they had the same thing with art assets and stuff. They, like, everything they use is theirs. And Jagex has always been very stubborn. They don't want to use other game engines and all this stuff, right? There are people that used to work for, like, FunOrb and all the other Jagex stuff that they did. And the one thing they complained about is that Jagex refused to let them use any other game engine. Like, they had to use Jagex TM property, right, to make all their stuff. And so, like, I don't know, maybe if it's ripped code from a private server, which that's ripped code from a client or a build, like a certain build of, RuneScape, then they could be like, oh, these guys literally just stole it. Look, if they did it all themselves, like, I don't know, maybe I could go and download all their shit and learn their language. I don't fucking know, but yeah, so I mean, they shut down, like, immediately. They're done. So no more OSHD. It does, start the discussion of, like, people wanting it and, asking Jagex for it. I mean, they might work on it in the future, but their team is so small and they have so many other things to worry about, especially, like, everyone's constantly giving them suggestions and they're constantly updating. They don't really have much time to work on, like,
but, like, as we've been seeing, this team keeps growing. Like, every year it seems like it's, like, doubling. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, it is weird that, like, the RS3 team is way bigger than the OS team, but
well, it makes sense. Like, even if you go on to RS3, you can't deny there's a lot in RS3. You know what I mean? Like, there's
they push a lot. I mean, they definitely do make the bulk of their money from RS3 because of all the microtransactions and stuff.
Yeah, which is
the fact that, like, a friend has an account that he paid over 10 grand to get 99s on just by buying it.
Yeah,
through Jagex, like, through the Squeal of Fortune and shit like that. Like, he's not the only one. There are definitely people, like, dude, we went to school with the guy who's the first max skiller on RS3. If you didn't know that, he went to high school, and me and my buddy found out his in-game name was Dreeks, I believe.
I have no idea.
But I was gonna say he probably bought all of his experience too.
Maybe not, because, like, the thing is, though, I tried to play RuneScape 3 a bit, and it's not the worst game. I was actually enjoying it. It's completely different than OSRS. Yep. Because, but it's kind of like, I don't know, you're in a similar world and stuff, and then it's just everything works different now. But honestly,
they do have some cool, like, the engineering I think is a really cool idea.
Have you seen the NXT client that came out? I think it was, like, last year it came out.
Nope.
Dude, so it was, like, this new engine that came out, which, like, kind of updated the graphics and stuff. It looks fucking really nice. Like, I look at it, I'm just like, wow, this, like, yeah, it looks cool. It would be great to have RuneScape looking this way, honestly. But the only thing is, like, everything's so smooth, there's no more tiles and shit, right? So you can't really, not as easy to do. And, like, I'm of the mind where, like, I really liked OS HD, not the client, but when the update actually came out back in 07, I think it was 07. I think it was 2012. I don't remember when.
Yeah.
I just remember I was like
something, but yeah.
I was basically either barely playing it, or I just recently quit, or maybe I came back to try it on my peer or something. But anyways, the HD client came out. I remember being like so stoked because I thought it looked so nice. I don't think they took PKing out yet, because I think I remember still doing pest control with OSHD coming out. But yeah, I remember being like, man, everything looks great. This is awesome, because yeah, it does. I thought it looked great, and I'd love to have OSHD, like having a graphics update for RuneScape. I know a lot of people don't like it, but the way it had it before was you just clicked low resolution then or whatever, and it would show up, old school graphics.
Yeah, I mean, put it in. I probably won't use it. The only thing I liked about it was the running animation, kind of, and the water. But I don't know. I love old school simplistic look, and that's kind of
like
what
the
I'm
way
nostalgic for.
Everything looks so smooth, and it was great. But one thing I like about the OS Buddy, what is it? OpenGL, I think it's called. Yeah, they have where it gives it kind of like a little bit of a graphics update. It's not OS HD, but it's like an in-between, sort of, and it's still in beta. Mm-hmm. My favorite thing about that is it paints the sky blue. So, and honestly, it gives it a totally different feel. Yeah. Which you don't even notice until you do it. You're like, holy shit, I don't feel like my view is so limited. I feel like there's an actual sky now. Mm-hmm. This is unreal, so I like that. And another thing, and then we'll move on from this OS HD stuff, but it's always fun to talk about, because there are about the, whether updating graphics is worth it and stuff. Because I know there are definitely people out there who are like, no, I don't want this update. Like yourself, you say you don't care for it too much. And last week when I was interviewing Toby, if you had listened to that, Toby from the RuneScape podcast, he mentioned himself, he plays with Conduit, and he plays with the really, really old RuneScape, where your screen is really fucking small, and you have the smiley faces, all the icons are back when they were back in 2004. Yeah. So there's definitely a market of people that don't care for any update of the RuneScape graphics at all. And we have a friend that would duel and stuff and lost all of his shit. I remember talking to him before, and he'd be like, dude, that'd piss me off so much if they came out with a better graphics version of it. I'm just like, interesting. So, yeah. But quickly before we move on, I think it's hilarious to mention about even from what I saw on Reddit, the community afterwards, they were like, it was close to how the Inferno was. Like how the community kind of got together, were brought together around it. And I was on the subreddit just a little bit, and I saw a whole lot of posts that were kind of patting themselves on the back. A lot of people trying to forget the fucking chaos that was of the gay pride event. So it's just kind of funny, because it's kind of
yeah, we like to do 180s every week. Well, I wonder what they're going to be freaking out next week about.
It's just interesting, because it shows how kind of big how
volatile everyone is in the community.
Sort of.
Yeah, this is the best. Oh, fuck this game. I'm quitting. Unsub. Oh, this game's the best. That's all in 3 weeks. Keep that in mind.
It's more on the lines of there's a lot of smaller communities within RuneScape itself. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah. Even more so than just PKing versus PVM, and skillers versus people who like to slay. Mm-hmm. Right? So I guess that's what you see is different community members being more vocal each week. So interesting. Yeah. I guess that's it. Let's move on.
Yeah, let's move on to some news that will actually be happening instead of the OSHD shit. So guild expansions, they've realized the woodcutting guild is, actually good, and the fishing and mining guild suck, especially with the nerfs to Zalra. People are going to be more prone to actually skilling.
Oh yeah.
And, fishing guild sucks. Mining guild has been dead content since I was
sucks
10.
Even more.
Yeah, I used it when I was 10 for a week, and I was like, this sucks. So, and I guess they want more people spread out, so they're, talking about their mining guild expansion. So they want to make some improvements. So yeah, they want to have an expanded area, which would have a bank and a deposit box and a poll booth and all this shit.
Good.
It's members only, this part that I'm talking about right here.
Okay.
So they would add 8 iron, 20 coal, 10 mithril, 8 adamant, and then 2 runite, nodes. Halved respawn timers, which is huge. I think that's fucking
that's
huge
awesome.
if you could get a halved respawn timer. That could allow
Oh yeah.
multiple people to power mine 3 iron ores. Keep that in mind.
True.
You could have 2 people power mining in a smooth system, but
That's huge. I like that change. I feel like that's
yep. Inside
very well needed.
Inside the new guild area, yeah, it's a pretty nice change. But inside the new guild area, you'll receive a +7 invisible boost, just like the Woodcutters Guild.
Cool.
And it'll improve your chances, like, you know, to obtain the ore faster, but you won't be able to like mine a higher tier ore because of the 7+ invisible boost. You'd have to use like a dragon pick special to actually be able to do that.
Yeah, it's like woodcutting.
Yeah,
the
woodcutting.
woodcutting.
And the area of the new guild would contain a new mineral for you to mine, and it'd be amethyst.
Cool.
And that would require 92 mining, and yeah, you can only get it, you know, through the new area, and you would be able to create new arrows, bolts, and javelins. So
interesting.
At level 92 mining, you'd get 22k experience per hour, which is pretty shit. It's horrible.
It's awful.
You know, 90, it's fucking awful, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, anyways, so, or to be, you know, 26k per hour on average while at 99 mining, and the amethyst, all the items will be tradable.
So basically, each level from 90 to 99, you're getting 500 more experience per hour.
Yeah. So, yeah.
That's horrible.
So, yeah, the crystals take a long time to mine if you couldn't tell from the experience rates, and yeah.
So you get your money.
Yeah. So at, for the amethyst, or amethyst, however the fuck you want to say it, the broad bolts, at level 83 crafting, you'd be able to, you know, make the tips, and, each tip could be chiseled into 15 bolt tips. You get 60 crafting experience. Nice. You can add them to broad bolts with 76 fletching, and you get like 10 experience per bolt.
It's badass.
You have to unlock the broad bolt fletching thing from the Slayer dudes, the rewards, to be able to make these amethyst broad bolts.
Fair enough.
Yeah, you need level 65 Slayer to use them, and they're as good as a runite bolt.
Cool.
And they're broad bolt, so that's a nice little buff to them.
Yeah, because right now broad is on par with adamite.
Yeah, broads they're still like widely used, I believe.
They're so cheap, and like I said, like they're on par with Addy bolts. So like, and they're half the cost. So I personally use it all the fucking time because they're super cheap. It's like 50k for like. Yep. I don't even know why I'm gonna guess, but you get a lot for 50k.
Yeah, you get a good chunk.
Yeah, you can kill things. And
yeah, so this would probably cause them to go up a bit, which they probably want. They probably really want these to go up a little bit because they're so cheap and they're so good. But who knows how that will actually happen.
Yeah.
And plus, yeah, gives you option if you got the money to shell out for, you know, runite bolts, but cheaper, I guess.
Sure.
Do it up. Yeah, so, the next ones they have are the amethyst, arrows. So at 85 crafting, the other one, like broad bolts are 83. These ones are 85. You'll be able to, you know, make 15 arrow tips. You get 60 experience, you know, per fletch.
Crafting.
Yeah. And, the arrows
you get 60 experience for the crafting of it.
Yeah, you get 60 to chisel them into the arrow tips. 60 experience per chisel of the amethyst. Make the tips is going to be crafting, and then a range bonus of like range strength bonus of plus 55. I don't know what that'd make it equivalent to. I think runite arrows. I'm not too sure. Don't quote me on that.
I'll check right now. Let's see. Rune arrows are sitting at 55 strength, right?
Yeah. So they're sitting at 55, and they're the same as the amethyst.
Mm-hmm. But I think now it's you're going to be able to enchant them, right? Eventually, I think you'll be able to enchant them.
Yeah, I guess that's
Maybe
like the
not
idea that they're talking about it. They haven't really mentioned being able to enchant them, but
every other one you can, so I don't see why not.
Yeah,
they just have to be careful
cool.
And have to like make sure it's not too overpowered.
Yeah, it'd be cool if you could, but they don't really mention it. that you can.
I don't know. I think maybe now they're just going to do that. This way you get the boost, and then eventually they'll add in the magic part of it.
Yeah. I mean, if it would pass. But yeah,
One
maybe
step at
that's
a
what they
time.
kind of want.
Maybe they
that's
don't want
what
to
they'd like to do.
If they added in, like, oh, if we enchant them, this is what the enchanting is going to do, people might just be like, no, we don't want this at all then. But if they added in now and then say this is the enchantments, people just be like, no, give us better enchantments or worse enchantments. Like, rethink them. Instead of scrapping the whole amethyst idea.
Yeah. So, So there's the bolts, the arrows, and then the javelins, which need 87 crafting to chisel the javelin heads.
Mm-hmm.
60 experience, 84 fletching, you need to make the javelins. And they provide a range strength bonus of 135.
Let me check.
I'm pretty sure they're all on par with Rune. I think it's just another method, maybe for Iron Men or something, to get more of a well, it'd be good for Iron Men to get a reliable way to get, Rune tier range ammunition.
I just wanted to check to see, because Dragon Javelins are at 150.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's a bit lower than that.
know.
Okay, interesting.
I don't really read too much into it, the reasons behind this, but I'm assuming it's because of, they just want, like, other ways to get, Rune equivalent.
I think it's so that when they add in the enchantment, they're not going to be they're easier to work with, right? You don't have to work with really strong arrows, and then, okay, now we have to make sure the enchantments aren't too strong, because then in PvP it's going to really fuck people up.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of weird, though, like, if it gets in that, like, I don't know, that, like, they should just enchantable,
I'm calling it.
I don't
There's
know.
going to be an update for enchanting them. That's why they're on par with runes. That when you enchant them, they're going to be probably better, or maybe just like a different tier of it, so that you could, like, instead of using the Dragonfire Bolt Tips, which is a rune with the Dragonstone.
Yep.
Really good for PvP because it can hit really fucking high. Great KO weapon for rangers. Now, if you want to use a crossbow with maybe something as strong as rune bolts, but they're not going to be so KO in the wilderness, they're going to be more on, like, heals you, or you shoot faster with. I don't know. You know what I mean? It's getting some other perk to make them better for maybe PVM or something.
Yep.
But before we move on to past that part, I just want to talk about some of the controversy between the amethyst. Have you seen any of that?
Not really.
People have been complaining. Oh, sorry, never mind. I'm getting this thing completely mixed up. I was going to say, people were complaining. Originally, it wasn't called amethyst. It was called quartz. Did you see that?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really see anyone complaining about quartz or anything. I just kind of saw, like,
why do you think they changed it?
People didn't like quartz on RS3, maybe?
No, tons of people complain about the quartz because, and a little nitpicky, but I guess for the mineral fans out there.
Yep, they're not rocks. Yep,
not rocks, Marie. Quartz is like, the name of the family, where it's just saying, like, you got Mithril, which is, came from Lord of the Rings, and then you have adamant, which is I forget where that's used, but I think it's used from, like, an unknown ore. I don't know if that was used in history as an unknown ore, or if it's in, like, a fantasy world like Lord of the Rings. But we do know that's in, like, Wolverine gets that into his bones, right?
Yeah, the adamantium.
Yeah, so I think that's from that. Then runite, is Jagex, they made that up. Quartz was, like, basically amethyst is a type of quartz.
Oh, okay.
So people complaining, like, why you have just such a broad name for it? Like, the fuck.
Makes sense, though. Makes sense.
I knew there was something there, and I was like, wait a minute, this doesn't seem right. So I quickly Googled amethyst, and they're like, it's a type of quartz. And I'm like, right. This is why people were complaining.
So, well, good thing they're open to change.
And it's just interesting that, like, these little things, and, like, like, you might have never even known of it, that it was, like, gonna be a quartz, and, like, you know what I mean? People were just, whatever. Just a little fun fact. Okay, let's move on.
It'd be like, yo, check out my sweet rock mall spec.
Yeah.
The equivalent. Get some sweet rock armor, dude.
You go mine some metal ore.
Yeah. So, moving on.
Let's hear about these mining gloves that I'm looking at here.
Yeah, so, we got these mining gloves. they're talking about. So, yeah, it's, mining any rock within the guild offers a chance to obtain some unidentified minerals alongside with, like, ores that you'd normally get. And the minerals can be traded for mining gloves, so it's a lot like the golden nuggets through Motherlode mining.
Yeah.
The standard gloves provide a chance of the silver, coal, and gold rocks, or the veins or whatever, to instantly respawn while you're wearing them. And the superior would provide a chance for the mithril, adamant, and the rune rocks to instantly spawn after mining them.
Interesting.
While wearing them.
I wonder if it's something like they respawn and your guy continues to mine it, so you kind of get 2 ores per rock.
I don't think so. I think it would,
That'd be sick.
Stop. Yeah, it'd be kind of cool. Make it a little more AFK. There's some other changes they want to make. So they want to make it easier to get to the mining guild and Motherlode mine, because it's kind of a bitch to get to Motherlode mine. I think the closest is a combat bracelet to the monastery. I might be wrong, but
it's in the same area as the mining guild, right?
It's yeah. So I guess you could go from Falador and run all the way through the mining guild and stuff.
It's farther than the mining guild is.
Definitely a lot of running. So yeah, they kind of want to make it more, juicy, I guess, nicer to get there, a little more clean. So yeah, the new entrance to the Motherlode mine would be added to the mining guild. So you can kind of just go in between.
We're gonna shift some things around. Nobody goes into the mining guild, so nobody's gonna notice the changes.
Yeah, and they'd wait, can you get to them on the skills necklace? I think you can actually. I might be wrong. Doesn't matter. You might be able to use the skills necklace. Actually, I've never used it to teleport there.
I always forget about the skills necklace, and I do also forget about the silver jewelry. Like, I still have to look up which ones do what, because I knew there was one for pickpocketing, and I was like, I thought there was a ring as well, but turns out it's just a necklace. And
yeah, I haven't yet to use silver jewelry, but
the skills necklace does teleport you to Motherlode mining.
Okay, yeah. So
not the mining guild though.
Okay, yeah. All right, so
look, I just want to say this: it teleports you to the fishing guild, crafting guild, cooking guild, wood cutting guild, and Motherlode mining. I think something needs to be tweaked there.
That's kind of weird.
But now they can tweak it. Probably before people were teleporting to the mining guild, and they're just like, what the fuck am I doing here?
Yeah.
Who the hell wants to come here? Let's go to the real mining guild.
But yes, they're going to add a new entrance to the Motherlode mine in the mining guild, so you can easily get between the areas. So yeah, they poll, like, all this is, like, being polled. I don't know if I said this is in. I don't think I did, but if I did, you might want to edit that out, but,
we're telling you now. Yeah, these are suggestions and ideas.
Yeah.
That's why the quartz was so fast to change. Like, if they put it in as quartz and then had to change it, it would have taken more time, but they just quickly tweaked the name. That's why it took me a minute to notice, because I read it when it first was coming out, but...
Yeah, so they poll, so, like, go over a couple of the polls, but it's pretty much everything we talked about. But like the main ones are add some more rocks to the free-to-play mining guild, which would be 2 addy and 1 iron, or 2 addy, 4 iron, and then for the members would be 8 iron, 20 coal, 10 myth, 8 adamant, and 2 rune, and then the bank as well.
Cool.
And then all the other stuff with the gloves and twice as fast, all that jazz. You can go check that out in the polls if you like them or not, and add amethyst to the game and whatnot.
So, yeah.
Moving on from the mining guild, we got a fishing guild expansion. So yeah, they want to make that a little bit better, I believe this was a suggestion, and then they liked it, and like I remember reading this somewhere a while ago, or maybe I'm just getting like a deja vu feel right now, but yeah, they want to add like a new part to the fishing platform, like a new fishing method that would be exclusive, and yeah, little extra work, but different, better rewards possibly. So yeah.
Yeah, it seems like instead of switching things around in the fishing guild, this is just purely an expansion.
Yeah, because like with fishing, like what are you gonna do? Add more spots to fish? Like no, move a bank? No.
Yeah. Add new items.
So this is like
you know what I mean?
a good idea. It's a nice, fresh idea. Fisherman has like a new platform within the guild, and he wants minnows to use as bait. They're a little too hard for him to catch. Guy's an idiot. But anyways, so he has couple nets and catching those minnows and whatnot in a couple of the areas, and you have to get the minnows, and you can exchange them for sharks.
Yep.
So I guess they're kind of trying to counteract the Zulrah nerfs, I guess. They're scrambling.
Yeah, so these are basically working like tokens.
So the requirements to do this minnow fishing, which would probably get you the best way to get sharks, would be 82 fishing, full anglers, and the fishing contest quest done. Yeah, so it's good because, you know.
Fishing contest. Big barrier there. The full angler's outfit's the hard one to get.
Yeah, like 1 in 8 or something like that per piece. It's a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
I have like 1 piece or something. I did it for a diary. I got the boots. But, yeah, it's not really relevant. So, yeah, so, like, yeah, the locations would be changing quite a bit, and flying fish will come and steal your minnows. So it'd be, like, more click-intensive than just regular fishing, of course.
Yeah, you'll actually have to focus, and, like, I imagine you'll catch a few minnows and they'll instantly despawn, so, like, you'll have to keep finding new ones to click, like, every couple seconds, and then staying away from these flying fish, apparently, too. Interesting.
Yeah. So because it's such a bitch to get to, and it's very click intensive, the rewards would be about at 82 fishing, which I think that's my fishing level. So maybe maybe I won't level it up, see if it passes the polls. But you get about 40k per hour at 82 with about 400k gold per hour.
Wow.
40k XP and then 400k, you know, GP.
Damn. That's not bad at all. 400k an hour? Money. I wonder if that's going to affect sharks at all.
Oh, yeah, it definitely will. I mean, right now the shark prices are...
I wonder how tedious it is going to be to do.
Oh, it's going to be really nice for Iron Men and stuff.
One tick fishing? It's going to be... watch, it's going to be something on par with that where you're like going to be fucking blowing off your fingers.
I hope not. I really hope not. But, yeah, 99 fishing, you'll get 50k experience per hour and 650k experience... Or 650k gold per hour.
Damn. So it doesn't go up a huge amount from 82,
no, but you know...
Still, that's crazy. It's a lot better than what it was.
Yeah, it sounds like it should be, if you're actually paying attention to stuff, consistent experience and money, and it's kind of, I guess it could be fun, who knows.
Yeah.
And they'd also like to add the +7 fishing boost within the fishing guild.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. That seems fair.
Those are pulled. Yeah, the minnow idea and the fishing guild, or the fishing boost, they're both pulled, and the best one, I think, I love this, and I really hope it gets put in.
Before we move on, I just want to say, it's funny, fishing seems to be getting a lot of love compared to the other skills this year, maybe in general.
Yeah, because
lava eels, with this update coming up, and then what was the other one? Fuck. Well, I just went blank. I had another
Fossil Island.
No, there was another example that they've tweaked with fishing in the past, and it got like holy fuck! I just went completely blank.
But yeah, fishing's getting a lot of love, especially now because they like. I keep saying it, but like Zulrah was the best sharks per hour in the game.
Yeah,
and if you notice the prices of high end items and then sharks and dragon bones, iron ore, like if you weren't dumb, if you're the opposite of me, if you're smart, I mean, I saw this coming, I didn't do anything, but everyone just panic sold like their primordials, their Saragon swords, sharks, like everything crashed super fucking hard because people panicked and were like, oh, Zulrah's, and they just went and sold everything, and Prims crashed like 4 or 5 mil in like a week. Saragon sword dropped a bunch. Dragon Warhammer dropped a bunch. Twisted Bow dropped like 200 mil for a bit.
Everyone's just like, Zulrah's irrelevant. Yeah. It's dead content.
Raw sharks dropped 100 GP. I don't know about cooked sharks, but yeah, everything was crashing. People panicked. And I mean, if you're smart about it, you would have bought whatever you could as it crashed. And like now everything's stabilizing, going back to the normal price.
You know, that's what we do. We tell you when everything's happened already.
Yep.
Help you predict
the next time. You don't care for it.
Yeah. No, we like to let you guys get all excited and then go, oh, it's too late.
Yeah, that's our goal.
That's what we do.
Yep. So I feel like they're just giving a lot of love to skillers because they kind of realize, like, I guess in members, they're probably doing a better job than we expect for bot busting. Maybe not, but like, they kind of nerfed skilling for a long time because of the issue with botting. That's why Zulrah was so good for so long, and that's how the community was at the time. Like, so that's why Slayer is so good. That's why you get so many pure essence doing random Slayer tasks, because back in the day, there was so many bots mining pure essence.
Yeah, and like, I hate to kind of like recycle a kind of conversation we had in a later episode, or an earlier episode, but I honestly think this is just a shift in the player base. They're seeing all these new people come in, and these new people are like, holy fuck, look at all these skills and things to do in RuneScape. It's a shame that apparently everyone just says like, hey, how do I get the best sharks? And just get your stats up and go do Zulrah. And they're like, no, I mean for fishing. Everyone's probably just like, don't fish. Trust me, just go do Zulrah. So they're starting to make it so people are just like, oh, cool, now I can go fish. You know, now I can go do this. There's lava. They're expanding on all these different routes people can take.
Yeah, they're kind of giving power back to skillers, and like, yeah, now that they've kind of hit bots hard, and well, definitely better than what it was when it first came out. And yeah, people want to skill and whatnot, so they're kind of giving power back to the skillers, which is nice. I love that, because I love to be able to like, oh, you know, I'll go fish. You know, and it's not like, well, better do monkfish because it's, you know, better experience and money per hour than sharks.
It was like the problem I had before. It was like the problem I had before. It was just with like, you know, I want to make money. I want to make a decent amount of money, but really I'm so sick of doing Slayer, and I'm sick of doing like combat stuff. Is there something else I can do that's, you know, different?
Hunter.
Yeah, I know, but like
rune crafting.
Fuck those skills.
Even though runecrafting took a fucking huge hit.
Yeah.
Like, I was gonna do some, and nature runes were 200 GP and cosmics were 100, and I'm like, fuck that.
Shit me.
Yeah, like a lot, big old drop. But, yeah, you always do hunter for some dope ass, do some chins for some dope ass money and experience. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so anyways, moving on to the updates. So they're this is really nice for skilling, but they want to make a make all option, because, you know, with most things, it's make X available, or make X option, and like that's available, and you know, usually it's you make X and then you just smash like between 3 to 0. You know what I mean? Like you just ignore 1 and 2. And you just like I just kind of like and just hit my hand on the numbers.
Yeah, it's very inconsistent. As in, make X amount of items is basically on every menu, but make all is only on like it's on a lot of menus, but it's not on all of them. And then when you see,
it's on a few.
When you're constantly doing a menu that doesn't have a make all, you start to realize like,
yeah. And so they showed a screenshot of what it would look like. It looks pretty dope.
Yeah,
I like the new interface, and the make all option's super nice. It's actually near the deposit all banking thing.
That's pretty sick. I want to just compare the interface to. It reminds me of kind of like, I don't know how to compare it, but compare it to like construction if it only showed up in your chat box.
Yeah, like instead of it being like beige, it's now kind of a grayish, and then there's like the icons, and instead of like the name and then the icon, it's like a nice, like it's clean, it looks really clean, and then on the top right, it's like 1, 5, 10, X, and then whatever the last quantity you used, and then a make all in the end, and yeah, it looks really nice. I fucking love it. The one thing I hated about fletching was like, you know, 27, cut 27, cut 27.
Yeah.
And then, you know, 14, like, I don't know. It was pretty annoying, but now with like the make all, you know, makes, and they're going to add it to like everything. They're probably going to forget 1 or 2 things knowing Jagex, but like there's so much shit. But
you see it. They're slowly having to update how their UI and like how their game works and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
ever since the AHK ban and whatnot, and they'd make it more convenient. Where like I guess some options wouldn't be there if you only had like if you're making one bow or whatever.
That's
whatever.
Yeah, it's
they'd make it nice and tidy, and then that's all pulled and whatnot. Yeah, and then so they're proposing a Mage Void Knight buff, because right now it's not that good. It's not really worth to use it. You're
shit in comparison to the other
you're
void.
better off wearing mystics and Arams and whatnot.
Oh yeah,
And especially compared to melee and range, like it's definitely the weaker of the three.
Yep. Even with the range nerfs.
Yeah, so currently it's 30% magic accuracy, and that's it. Pretty shitty. But they'd like to increase it to 45% magic accuracy and then 2.5% magic damage increase for the elite set, which I think is pretty big because you're casting Fire Strike, it'll always have a max hit. I mean, that's a really bad example, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It'll always have a max hit, but like with the 2.5% damage increase, like at higher spells, like we're the ones, I don't know, fucking whatever. Let's say you're using like Ice Barrage or something. You're probably gonna want to bring
naturally. So you know what I mean?
You're probably gonna want to bring the Void Knight for a little extra damage increase if you have the elite set, obviously.
Yeah. It might just give you like 1 extra damage, but then you stack that with the occult necklace. I believe that gives you 2. And then you have that I think it's the Tanzanite bracelet. I believe that gives you an extra damage, another 20% or something. You know what I mean? Like, you really start stacking them, because every number starts counting up. Because, Magic's always had a cap on it, but now they're giving out these items. So, cool.
Yeah, so it's nice that they're kind of doing this, and that's pulled. So, dope. I hope that passes, just so, you know.
That's the thing. Everything you like, that's a sweet update. You gotta remember, we might not ever see it. So, we'll see.
I mean, just go on the polls and vote. Do your thing.
We'll let you know what you're going to see and what you're not going to see in a couple weeks.
Yeah. So, the Book of Scrolls, I think this is actually a sweet, idea, because they have so many, like, little scrolls, like the dig site scrolls, the Piscarelli scrolls.
The ones that come from Clue Scrolls.
Yep. Like, I have, like, so many of them just, like, around in my bank in random-ass spots, and I just search the name and grab it. But I really like this, which is a way to kind of deal with the solution and give you more bank space, help out Iron Man and everyone alike. Would be the Master Scroll Book, and it would allow you to store all your teleports in a single slot. You know, you click the scroll book, it would display with an interface, and you can select the destination that you want.
Cool.
It would be a rare reward from all tiers of the clue scroll, or all tiers of clue scrolls, and it would be tradable when empty, but untradeable when, you know, there's teleport stored in it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Depending on the rarity, this thing could be worth a fuck ton.
Yeah, because it's going to really condense your bank. You have like 10 teleport scrolls to stick into that one book.
Yeah, I'm
going
to say this now.
Even for running around doing clue scrolls, I usually bring like at least 5 of the scrolls, because I'm like the chance that I might have to teleport there.
Yep, exactly. But, what was I gonna say? Fuck. Oh yeah, good thing I still have the medium hard elite master. Easy, like I have every single clue scroll just sitting in my bank. I'm too lazy to do them. So maybe I'll see if this passes.
I have every single one except for a master and a hard. So once I get a hard, I'm going to turn it into a master and try to bang that one out.
Nice. Yeah, I got them all while fishing. I just can't be bothered to do them yet.
Yeah, that's exactly, my one's from woodcutting. It's usually how it happens. You just bank them when you're trying to AFK.
Mm-hmm. So, there's another option, which is kind of interesting. I actually would have never thought about this, but players have requested, supposedly, for the ability to smash vials after consuming a potion.
Okay.
That's kind of cool. I wonder, like, if you would sip from it and then do the animation of smashing it or something.
Yeah, that's interesting. Well, I would hope so, because sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. I was gonna say it's a toggleable option to auto smash them. I mean, I have like 7k vials in my bank.
Yeah, I have tons, which I kind of like having. I like to look at it and say that's how many potions I drank, but also, yeah, if it's a reward for the Barbarian Outpost, I definitely hope it's some like cool barbaric animation.
Yeah,
where you just like maybe hold it above your head and you throw it on the smash it somehow, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
I hope it's not just like you drink it and it disappears.
Yeah. So I don't know if there's any requirements after what so the only requirement that they state to access it is the bar crawl, which it takes like not even 5 minutes.
What?
Seriously,
you gotta walk around and drink a bunch of beers from different places. It takes a little bit.
Yeah, you just get teleports. It's easy as hell.
No, it takes some time. Baby. It's not 5 minutes.
Slayer Music 1, baby. That's all I gotta say.
Okay, yeah, maybe use that. But for me, I spent probably about half an hour to an hour.
Really? Damn,
Yeah.
dude. I don't know. I had no issues doing it. But yeah, so it's a possible option to get. Maybe you have to do something else, but who knows? Yeah, they'd like to know if that was a thing. Whatever, vote on that as well.
Cool.
And yeah, we got some more updates going still. Jesus.
Yeah.
So in other news, they're still working on Fossil Islands behind the scenes. They're getting that ready to be pumped out, and yeah, so they've done the click box improvements, and yeah, that'll be pretty nice. Make the example they use is the Edgeville necklace you hang or the Glory necklace you hang up in your player-owned house.
Yeah.
And they show the click box they changed it to and whatnot, so that's pretty nice.
You just gotta click in the general area it is before you had to click like the small plaque. There are some things like doorknobs and shit which will drive you mad. And
Yep.
You have to click exactly the pixel.
Yeah. And yeah, so they've done that with like a bunch of random ass things. I hope in the vampire area where you have to do all the parkour for that one quest. Hopefully there's a couple spots that were super, super finicky. Agility is super finicky, so hopefully they like focus on that type of stuff. As I say that, but yeah, they have like the click box of the first obstacle of the Sears Village has been kind of expanded because I know that one's annoying as hell to click.
Sure.
But hopefully they kind of just make it more convenient for like everything. Agility wise, cause yeah. This is kind of cool, but yeah, you can toggle the FPS of your in-game by doing like : display FPS, one word.
Cool.
So that's pretty dope. I haven't tried that yet, but yeah. There's a second confirmation when trading in a fire cape for Tokal. When I was like trading them in like a couple weeks ago, going for my Jad pets. With Slayer, I was constantly scared about doing Tokal, which is nice because, gives you
True.
a little security, a little blanket. The option to trade with other players has been removed while in duels, just to prevent scams.
Okay.
I guess people were trading other people in duels. I never even thought that'd be a thing, but fuck, that's smart if you think about that. Yeah, they buffed like teleport drops from Zara, I guess to make it more convenient for people to do.
Cool.
That's kind of it. And, little minor things, but yeah, that's pretty much it for the important stuff. And then some bug fixes and then yeah.
Cool.
That's it. We're done. A lot of shit to go over, but
yeah, they're just saying for the Dead Man mode, they got some changes for next season they're going to be talking about, but nothing that's out yet. And the qualifier invites will be going out June 26th to July 1st. So a week or two, in a month or so, we'll be talking about the next tournament. So cool. Those on the news. Holy shit, that was a lot to go through.
Yep.
I didn't realize. Man, we rambled a bit. We should maybe not have done that so much. But anyways, too late. Yeah, those are some pretty cool updates and some things to look forward to. And glad they're still changing. They're probably always going to be making changes to the click box and shit because there's so much stuff that they've missed and things get brought up all the time. But yeah. All right. That being said, I think we had like a lot of. We got some popular requests to actually have the question of the week. Some people actually like that, and which is great. I wasn't sure. I wasn't too sure, so I'm glad I actually got some positive response. So we're gonna actually bring that back because it's fun to talk about. And we definitely want to hear from you guys out there too. And
yep. Question of the week is: what is your password and login name?
Yep. You can send that to the Wilderness Podcast.
Yep.
No, but actually, the question of the week this week is. And we will going to do it every week. I'm going to put them on Discord. I have a separate channel on our Discord, so if you're on there, I'll post up the question there. I'll throw it up on Twitter, Facebook, and
yep.
Yeah, try to get it to us on one of the ways from so that we can look at like some people have tried to do it through RuneScape, and unless I write that down, I might forget.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. But anyways, that being said, I was thinking the question this week. For episode 38, question of the week being, if you were handed a brand new account, all the stats are level 1, except for your health, level 10, and you're allowed to choose one skill to get to level 99. You're not going to get any rewards from what you would have gained from leveling it to 99. You just get the account with that one level 99 skill. Okay?
Okay.
What skill are you going to choose, and why are you going to choose it? So I'll give you a moment to think about that one, I think. I probably should have mentioned these things to you. So now it's on the spot.
So wait, I don't get to keep any of the rewards for doing it?
Nope. So yeah, I was thinking about it earlier, because I wasn't too sure. My answer, I was like, I'd probably go with 99 defense. That'd be pretty cool. I could go PKing and have like an odd account. You'd only have 10 health, right? But still, be interesting. But at the same time,
I
think
take like a fucking year.
No, you get the account with 99 defense.
Oh, you just get it with that 99. You don't skill it yourself?
Yeah, what I'm saying is if you chose 99 rune crafting, you don't suddenly have like 100 mil in your bank from all the runes you rune crafted.
Oh, I thought you were meaning like you have to level it up yourself.
No. You get the account with that stat. You just don't reap any of the rewards that you would have gained from leveling it yourself. So yeah, and then I also thought, I think magic would be fun as well. That'd be fun to go PKing with. Like, that's what I'm thinking. Like, there's, you know what I mean? Like, other than that, are you going to do it to make some money? Maybe use it for an ult to make money? You might want to use it for an account for PKing, and you want to start off with a stat that sucks to level up, so you can just bypass that, right?
Yeah, 99 range or something, 99 strength.
99 Slayer.
Have the untrimmed Slayer cape, dude. Yeah, I don't know. Depending on what I'd want to use, if it was PKing, if I was like, oh, this guy's PKing for sure, it'd be like strength or range. And, but if it was just like an account that like I would never PK on or wouldn't, like,
what do you think, what would you use it for though? What do you think? If someone hand you the account right now, you feeling like, yeah, I'm probably going to want to PK on it, or you're like, nah, I'm going to probably skill on this guy?
If it was going to be like a skiller, I would take like Slayer. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. I would take Slayer. But if it was a skiller, but yeah, either Slayer or like range, I think. Pretty vanilla answers, I think, but
maybe the only problem with range,
that gotta be cool,
is like, yeah, that's the thing. A combat skill, sure, it'd be great for like bosses and PKing, but like when you're fighting higher monsters, you're probably going to be leveling up your not ranged, right? Why are you only going to do range from now on? Level up your HP?
Well, I would say the 99 range because it keeps your health low as fuck.
Yeah.
So then you can train up like 60 attack, 99 strength, and then hopefully you don't get any defense levels, because then you kind of
fair enough.
But keep that
then
HP
again,
as low as possible.
99 construction. Build a house on that account, so you can just use as your house alt.
Yeah, exactly. Have a little bitch account.
So yeah, that's your answers right there. Ranged or Slayer?
Yep. What about yourself? Oh yeah, you said defense?
Yeah, I was probably thinking defense, because the defense, you would look fucking badass. You'd be like level 30 or something. You'd be rocking like
full bandos
or full barrows or some sort. Something cool. And it's fun. And also, that's what I was saying, if you want to go PKing, bust the DFS, full Torags. I don't know, be interesting.
Yeah.
The new Dilz shield.
Oh yeah. Be pretty troll.
Yeah. So anyways, I'd love to hear from everyone out there listening. What if you're handed a fresh level 3 account and you're able to get one skilled level 99 for free? What would it be and why? Sorry. With that note, you can get in contact with us through a number of different ways, one of them being email, which is thewildernesspodcast@gmail.com. We're on Twitter @thewildernessrs, facebook.com/thewildernesspodcast, where you can find us on there. And we have a clan chat, Wild CC, on RuneScape if you'd like to join it. We also have a Discord opened up. Let us know if you'd like to get in there, and we'd send you out a link, and you can join all the fun that's going on there. And yeah, I think we're pretty good.
Yeah, buddy.
A little bit of a longer one. It seemed like some ramblings going on there, but that's what happens when I get coffee with an espresso.
Yeah.
If you can't tell, we're doing this during the daytime instead of the evening, which is why I'm not like fucking falling asleep here. So interesting. Yep. But anything you want to talk about going on next week? Anything coming up for you?
I'm thinking about making a new pure.
Okay, another one.
Other than that, that's about it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah. And, another thing I want to mention is we have had some people asking about the Iron Man segment that we had before. When we definitely not scrapping it. We've been busy, but we're trying to figure out a way that we can do it so that when Deegan's school picks back up, he's not going to be completely fucked. And then me, I'm just kind of consistently busy during the weekday and stuff, but we're going to figure it out. I'm working on I'm putting up our podcast on the YouTube right now. And once those are all out, I'm thinking we'll just throw on, so we have our Iron Man stuff recorded, so we'll just throw those on the video. Maybe we'll get back into that. Because I had some high ambition before, as you guys could probably tell, so many ideas that I'm like, okay, you know what, I don't got time for this shit. But the Iron Man thing, I was thinking of like putting a lot of quality work into it, and then I started realizing it, you know what, we should just do something like what most RuneScape video guys do, and they just kind of talk over what they do. It's easier, right?
Yep.
So yeah, maybe we'll do that, and that should be something to look out for. We'll keep you guys that's in the future though. I'm still putting up all the episodes on YouTube, but you guys don't care about that. Yeah. And probably play some RuneScape today. That's about it. You want to wrap her up? Should we shut her down?
Yeah, let's shut her down.
Time to shut her down. Okie dokie. Thanks everyone for listening. This was episode 38. Next week, we got 39. Damn, we're coming close to the big 4-0.
Yeah, buddy.
Shit. Cool. Oh, thanks guys for listening. Very much appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right. Bye-bye.
Have a good one. Peace.